welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my top 20 high-end favorites that you can get from either Sephora or Ulta. Most of them, pretty much all of them, maybe except one. I wanted to upload this today if I'm getting this up on time because the Sephora VIB spring sale just started, so I wanted to tell you my favorite things that if you don't have and you want to splurge a little bit but save while you're splurging, this is like my base list of like holy grail items that I would suggest you try if you haven't tried them. So if you're a Sephora VIB, the sale is happening now, but also this is just my top 20 as of today. As of April 2017, these are my top 20 high-end holy grail favorites. So I thought it would be a fun video to do. A lot of you can probably guess some of these. Some of them might be a little bit more random, or you just didn't think I would, I don't know, you just might not remember. And it's not just makeup, I have a little bit of skincare in here as well, so I'm gonna shut up. So let's get into it. Number 20 is not that expensive, but it's expensive for what it is, so I feel like right now would be a good time to stock up. I'm probably definitely going to. These are the Sephora brand sleeping masks, and they come in a bunch of different scents slash varieties for different skin tones. My favorite is the rose sleeping mask. I find it to be very hydrating. Comes in this like little packaging, but you pop the little pod out, and it's kind of like this like almost Vaseline consistency that you just rub all over your face. You do let it sit overnight. It's nothing too greasy or anything that will get all over your pillow. It just kind of sinks into your skin overnight, and you wake up and your skin is just so plump and moisturized and refreshed, and it smells like roses. I think these are very effective. I believe one pod is $4, but I get about 4 uses out of one pod. I don't know if they're meant to be just one use, I'm not sure, but I get 4 uses out of them. I love them. I would highly recommend them. I have bought more to try more, but I just keep using this one because I'm a creature of habit. Number 19 has been like a literal lifesaver lately, and that's because I don't enjoy doing my brows. Like, it's not my favorite thing to do. It just isn't. So when I'm not in the mood to fuss over them, I've been picking up this Benefit Gimme Brow. This is like my 3rd bottle of this. I freaking love it. It is expensive for what it is, so I think now if the sale is on would be a good time to pick it up. It's a fiber gel, so it adds fibers and color while setting your brows in place, and it just is really nice. I use the color 1. I have very light brows, so color is a definite must for me, and this stuff is great. So I would highly recommend this. It comes in 3 different shades. Number 18, I'm kind of cheating, but it's a duo because I didn't want to take up 2 slots, but the Anastasia brow products are incredible. I'm sure you've tried them, but if you haven't, now would be a good time. I have the brow definer, which I keep saying, I have kept saying in videos that I prefer the Brow Wiz, but now I'm not sure. Now that I'm like ready to buy a new one, I'm like up in the air on which one to pick. I'm in the shade taupe. It's what I'm wearing today. This one I literally have like maybe 2 or 3 uses left, and then it's gonna be completely gone. Same with this. This is my I have something in my eye. Hold on. This is my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. This is like super glue for your brows. Don't let that scare you though. It's incredible. I have very bushy, wild brows, and this keeps them in place all day long, and I love it. And they are a little bit more on the pricey side, but totally worth it in my opinion. They're at Sephora, Ulta, you can get them online, Birchbox. They're great. Number 17, I don't actually have because I need to pick up more. I'll pop in a picture right here. It's the Elizabeth & James White Nirvana Dry Shampoo. I am somebody who always says like, I don't need to spend a bunch of money on hair care products because the drugstore products do the same. In this case, it's different. It's a very expensive dry shampoo, but in my opinion, I've never used anything that's like it at all. It's great. It smells so good. It doesn't like leave weird powder residue all over your face and your hands. Like, it's just the best dry shampoo I've ever used, but it is like almost 30 bucks, so it's intense, but it's worth it to me. So if you're in the mood to splurge on a dry shampoo, I would highly recommend that one. Number 16 is an old favorite. This is the Benefit Watts Up Cream Highlighter. I used to love this thing. I mean, I still do. I get in ruts with makeup and I keep using the same things over and over, but look at this. It is so beautiful, and it's an amazing cream formula that kind of sets like powder, so it's not going to be like falling all over your face all day. It is the most perfect like light champagne gold color, perfect for fair skin. I feel like it would look good on all skin tones though, and then it has this little kind of blender thing on the other end, which I don't use too much to be honest, but it is nice. But if you're into cream highlight, this is my favorite one. It doesn't settle into your pores. It's a really nice shine. It looks good. It just, in a bunch of different circumstances, like, it just is a good product. Number 15 is one of my all-time favorite products, but I'm putting it so low in the list because I do feel like you can get a pretty good drugstore match. This is the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Skin Concealer, and I think it's very comparable to the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Those are my 2 favorite concealers that I kind of go back and forth on. This really does feel weightless. I'm wearing it today and it just feels good. It doesn't feel like you're wearing too much. I also use this as like an eyeshadow primer. I don't really use eyeshadow primers anymore. I just use whatever concealer I'm currently using, which saves a little bit of money as well. I do have some eye primers that I love, but I haven't been using them. They have a bunch of shades in the range. I use the shade Fair Neutral. It's just a little bit lighter than my skin tone, so it brightens up underneath my eyes. I am obsessed. I love it. But like I said, that Maybelline Fit Me concealer from the drugstore is a pretty comparable dupe. This is like 28 bucks. It's like almost 30 bucks, which is way too much money, but I spend it every once in a while because I do love it. Number 14 is one of my all-time favorite foundations, but I don't use it all the time, which is why it's, again, deep in this list. This is the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Foundation. This is a beautiful, beautiful foundation. It's full coverage, but it's not too heavy. I am wearing it today, but I always usually mix it with something else. Like I'll put on a different foundation, and then I'll take a little tiny dab of this with my beauty blender and just kind of go over the center of my face just for a little bit extra coverage, because it is expensive and it is heavy, so I kind of like to thin it out a little bit and make it stretch a little bit more. I'm not positive on the price. I want to say it's around 40 to 45, which is so much money for a foundation, but it's a good foundation. Like I always say, I want to wear this foundation on my wedding day because I just know I'm gonna look good. Number 13 is an old fave that I haven't talked about in a while, but this is the Too Faced, oh my god, there's a bug inside my light. Oh my god! This is the Too Faced, what is this? Milk Chocolate Soleil Light Medium Matte Bronzer. It's incredible. I love all the chocolate products from Too Faced. I love Too Faced. Oh, it smells so good. I am wearing it today and I kind of like freaked out over it because I was like, I forgot how much I love this. It's just kind of in my staple favorite bronzers list. It's incredible. It smells like chocolate and I'm sure you've heard about it, but if you haven't tried it, maybe now's the time. Number 12, I discovered end of last year and I pretty much wore it ever since until I discovered my Physicians Formula Butter Blushes. But this is the Marc Jacobs Air Blush in Flesh and Fantasy. It is the perfect mauve color. It's just a really nice neutral nude. Can you even see it? My hand. It's a really nice neutral nude mauve light nude pinky shade. I just had a lot of words. It's just the best for if you have a lot of other things going on your face and you're just kind of like, what do I put on my cheeks? This is amazing, and the quality of Marc Jacobs powders is beautiful. Like, not patchy, goes on so nicely. Doesn't really matter what kind of brush you use with it because it's just gonna look really nice. And this is no exception. I have a couple of these blushes and I love them. They're huge, so they're totally worth the money. This will take you a lifetime to use up unless you use it every day, but I don't know. I am wearing it today, like I said, just a nice pinky mauve nude color, and it's beautiful. Number 11 is my favorite lipstick formula as of now, which this has quickly become my favorite lipstick formula. These are the Smashbox Be Legendary Matte Lipsticks, and this is my new favorite red lipstick in the shade Bing, which I've mentioned I like that it's called Bing for two reasons, Chandler Bing and Bing Crosby. But it is the most stunning red shade ever. Like, I seriously considered getting rid of all other reds because when I'm in the mood to wear a red, it's just gonna be this one. And I still feel that way, so we'll see. But it's just a really nice blue toned, bright red that doesn't make your teeth look yellow. It's so beautiful, and every time I wear this in a video I get tons of questions. I usually try to remember to link it in the box, but I never do, so. But I have a bunch of shades of these and they're just very comfortable. Like, there's very few lipsticks that I don't feel self-conscious leaving the house in, but I will leave the house in this red lipstick or any of my Smashbox Be Legendary lipsticks because they're just so comfortable. They don't really have any taste, they don't travel, they just stay in place, and they just kind of feel like a nice moisturizing chapstick while being matte. So they don't dry down, they just don't have any like gloss to them. They're fabulous and I highly recommend them. So go find your shade, whatever shade you like, and try one. I wore my gold fancy shirt because I felt like this was like a fancy high-end video, but nothing about me is fancy. Number 10 is my favorite second favorite mascara. My first favorite is a drugstore favorite, but this is the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. It claims that you don't need a lash curler for it to stay curled. I don't think that's true, but I think besides that, it's a fabulous mascara. Doesn't flake, yet comes off really easily when you're removing your makeup. It's like not hard to get off. That's like the worst is when I'm standing there trying to get off my mascara. I'm like, what the hell is in this? This layers really nicely. It doesn't clump. It has beautiful packaging, and I just think it's incredible. I think it's around $21, maybe 24, I'm not sure. It also comes in a brown shade, but I figured I'd show you black because I feel like most people like black. It is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't tried it, I much prefer this over the They're Real mascara, and this is like my third bottle of it. I love it. Number 9 is kind of not boring, I feel bad saying that. This is the Naked 2 Urban Decay Basics palette. It's their little mini matte palettes that I freaking love. I love both of them, but this one is my freaking favorite, which is also odd because it tends to like pull more on the cool side, which I never really prefer. That's all I'm wearing today, just a few shades of this in my crease. This is my go-to travel palette. I usually don't bring much eyeshadow because when I'm traveling, I don't really take the time to do like big eyeshadow looks. So I usually take this and a couple of my favorite single eyeshadows just for everyday use. And even if I do want to do something more fancy, I have all these dark colors. A lot of palettes, I feel like all the shades blend out to look the same. I don't feel that way with this one, so I feel like you're getting a bang for your buck. I believe it's $28, which is not bad considering it's a nice eyeshadow palette. This formula is great, and I prefer matte shadows, so this is just my baby, and I will repurchase this for the rest of my life, even though I've never had to repurchase an eyeshadow palette before because I have way too many. But if I ever run out of my favorite shades in this, I will repurchase it. Number 8 is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I love this, and at first when I saw it, I was like, that's kind of gimmicky, and maybe it is still gimmicky, but I love using this. Like, I look so forward to using this. It's silicone-free, alcohol-free, and oil-free. For me, it's just an extra step of moisture that my makeup really glides nicely on top of. And again, I am just one of those like people that loves the experience of spritzing something on my face. I'm just weird like that. Sometimes I'll use another primer on top of this, but a lot of the times I won't, and my foundation or BB cream or whatever I'm using goes on beautifully on top of this. And like I said, just a nice extra layer of moisturization. I do have dry skin, and I know a lot of my favorite YouTubers who do have oily skin also love this, so give it a try. Number 7 is my favorite primer of all time. This is the Benefit The Porefessional Primer. This stuff is magical to me. Like, I love it. It is expensive, but I think worth every penny. It is my favorite primer I've ever used. It really works at filling in your pores. So if you're somebody that has larger pores, you will love this because it really does a good job of filling them in. Your makeup goes on top of it so smoothly. It doesn't like ball. You know how some primers ball up when you're applying them? That doesn't happen here. Even if you don't want to wear makeup, this just makes your skin look beautiful. And I don't have a full size of it right now because I have too many primers I'm trying to work through, but I always have a miniature one on hand because I can't live without it, and it's my go-to travel one as well because it just works every time. It's the best. Number 6 is another eyeshadow palette. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This has quickly become my favorite like big palette of all time, which I know it's like very specific, but like I love this thing. It smells like peaches, which is amazing. It's very similar to like the Too Faced chocolate palettes with like the scent and stuff, but I just think the quality of these shadows is amazing, and I love a lot of these like lighter neutral shades, but the reason it's like my #1 favorite palette is because of this Luscious shade right here. You guys, I love it. It is so buttery, and every time I see somebody review or talk about this palette, they also talk about this shade. It's so good, and that's my go-to like kind of eyeshadow color, is like a gold shimmery color if I'm not wearing anything else. But it has a lot of good like warm matte browns and some fun colors and some really pretty, this Bellini color is beautiful. Just some really nice, just like all over the lid, everyday shades, but it can be amped up with some of the darker ones. I just really love it, and especially since they made it a permanent thing in their collection, I say pick it up. When I hauled this last summer, it wasn't a permanent item, and everybody was upset about it, including me, because I was on like wait lists to get it and everything, which of course now it's readily available, so use your VIB coupon and pick this up because it's so good. Number 5 is the only makeup brush I have in here, but it is my #1 favorite makeup brush of all time. It's so expensive, but it's worth every penny in my opinion. Haven't found a dupe for it yet. This is the Marc Jacobs The Bronze Brush, which if you've been following me since I got this, I talk about it at least once a week. And I just hauled this, but they also came out with the same brush in white, so if you want to pick up one of these for the sale, you could choose your color. But this is the best bronzer brush I've ever owned. I could honestly get rid of the rest because I haven't used them since I got this last like September. It is just the best. I honestly use it every single day. It doesn't matter what bronzer I'm using, high-end, drugstore, it just works. And I love the shape. I love how big and fluffy it is. It's just the best, you guys. It's I have no words. It comes clean really nicely, which is always a plus. I have some brushes that like do not come clean nicely and it's so annoying, but this one definitely comes clean really nicely, and like I said, it's expensive, but if you're in the mood to splurge, now would be a good time if you have that coupon. Number 4, I don't think you can get at most Sephoras. I feel like they said that they were going to start carrying it online, but I could be totally wrong, but I wanted to include this because this is truly in my top 20 high-end products, and you can get it at Nordstrom. So this is the Chanel Soleil Tandation Chanel Bronze Universal Cream that I picked up for myself as a Christmas gift to myself. This has been #1 on like my lusted after makeup list for so long. The minute I started watching YouTube videos, everybody was talking about this and I was like, oh, that's so beautiful, but I would never spend $50 on a bronzer. I did, and I encourage you to do the same because it's amazing. It is so natural looking. It blends away really nicely. It does set down. You don't need to set it with anything. If you're gonna spend a bunch of money on other cream bronzers to try and find a good one, like just save yourself the money and buy this one. Like, it's so good. Okay, top 3. I freaking love all 3 of these. Any of these could be #1. This is just how I decided to place them. #3 is my Glam Glow Thirsty Mud Hydrating Mask. I have mentioned before that I found a dupe for the clearing mud mask, which I'll link that video up there. I found a $10 dupe. I cannot find a dupe for this. This stuff is amazing. It smells like coconut, and it's kind of like this light, kind of brown color, I guess. Like when I travel, my skin gets extra dry. There's a bunch of different circumstances where like my skin is in need of moisture, and this gives it to me immediately. I bought the $22 travel size of this specifically for my brother's wedding. I wore it the night before the wedding, the morning before the wedding. Like this stuff just does wonders for my skin personally and never breaks me out. And I have some other moisture masks that like do moisturize my skin, but this is like the most immediate effective mask of any of the masks that I have. Like, you just see instant results, which I love. It kind of tingles just like a little bit, which I like to like let me know that it's working. You could sleep in this if you wanted to. You could add a little bit of this to your moisturizer each night. There's a bunch of different ways to use it. I just use it like a traditional mask, but I leave it on for way longer than it says. I leave it on for at least 30 minutes because it just feels so good and it smells good. So if you've never tried it, try it. Maybe pick up the travel size first if you're iffy about it, because it is $70, which is way too much money, but worth it to me, I think. So yeah. Okay. #2 is my favorite highlight of all time. This is the Hourglass Ambient Strobe Lighting Powder in Brilliant. The Hourglass powders are all very subtle and they're beautiful, so they work on any type of skin, you know, whatever type of skin you have, whether it's mature or dry. I've heard a lot of makeup artists say that they use this on brides because it's just like a no fuss, not too much glow, and it just is truly amazing, and I just douse my whole face in it. And for this one, they do have a bunch of different shades. This one's a little bit more on the yellow side, which I really like on my skin because it just kind of looks like a nice champagne-y gold, and it's just so beautiful. It doesn't settle into your pores or anything. It is just awesome, so highly recommend. Okay, pause right now and comment down below what you think #1 is, even though it's probably in the thumbnail, but just guess anyway. #1 is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I love this foundation, and I feel like it's very universally loved no matter what skin type you have, which is why I wanted to make it #1. I feel like everybody should try this foundation. It is beautiful. This is not my correct shade. I have to add a lightener to it, but I'm gonna use it up and then buy my right shade, but this is the shade Vanilla, if you're wondering. It is so lightweight. It has a bunch of nice ingredients in it, like coconut water and things like that. I use it with a damp beauty blender, and it's just the perfect everyday flawless, yet your skin comes through, and it's just beautiful. And like I said, it's universally loved by a bunch of people I watch and know personally, and I recommend it to all of my friends, so I'm recommending it to you. #1 top high-end makeup favorite. It is so good. It's expensive. It's around $40, but it does last you a while, and in my opinion, it's worth every penny. Okay guys, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me some of your favorite high-end products down below in a comment. I would love to know and try some new things, especially because the sale is happening, and I fully plan to make a purchase with this sale. If you're watching this at a time that the sale's not going on, then there's my top 20 high-end favorites. And yeah, I love you guys. If you want to subscribe, which please do for more hauls and lists, I will have my face right up there in that corner. My last video will be right down here in this corner, and my social media places to find me will be up there. So I will see you on the internet, and I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!